So what is the difference between a 90-day sprint and a 12-week year? And which one is better for your business? Aren't they the same? I mean, 90 days, 12 weeks, they sound the same, but they're really not. The 90-day sprint comes from the world of agile development. This has been around for a long time. I mean, back when I was working for IBM in the aughts, we were still using this methodology. And the goal of it is so that when you're doing product development, especially software development, you can create concrete, discrete blocks of change. And then the product gets locked down so that the people downstream from the developers, the information developers, the quality assurance, all the folks who need to work on a stable platform have something stable to work with. Also, the people who are developing the next features have a stable platform to integrate it with. That is not what the idea is for the 12-week year. The 12-week year tries to instill urgency and focus throughout an entire company or organization. It's not specifically designed to work on a single product, but it's designed to get you focused on about as much time as the human mind can really comprehend as a block. If you let it go much longer than 12 weeks, you start thinking, oh, I've got time for that. I can do that later. Doesn't matter that I've messed up this week or this month. I can fix it later on down the road. But what happens is that you can and you don't, unless you go absolutely crazy at the end of the year. And for all those people who have spent the time between Christmas and New Year's frantically putting in 18-hour work days, that's not fun. That's not a good way to live, to try and do 12 months of work in that last frantic week, especially since the people who manage their time better are on vacation and nobody returns your phone calls. So the 12-week year attempts to get that sense of urgency, that sense of you don't have a runway, you've got to do it now or it's not getting done, in a much shorter time frame. And then when those 12 weeks are up, that's the end of your year. You measure, did I meet my goals? Did I not meet my goals? Who won? Who lost? Who's the best? Who's the worst? And that ends that year, and then you start a completely new year. So if you set some really audacious goals at the beginning of the year and you thought, I can do that if I really work at it, and around June you start thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make that. And around October you're thinking, yeah, that's toast. There is no way that's happening. You've lost all your motivation to finish the year strong because you're not making your goal and you know it. So this way, whatever happened in the first 3 months of the year, that was its own year. You either made it or you didn't make it, but it has no bearing on what happens in the next 3 months. And that keeps that sense of urgency and it keeps that focus. So how do you know which of these is right for your business? Well, it comes down to a few key questions. What exactly is the purpose? Are you trying to increase urgency and focus, or are you trying to compartmentalize your development? Then again, what is your focus? Is it specific to a project, in which case you'd probably use a sprint? Or is it more general, your overall business and even life goals that you have? That would call for the 12-week year. Then how do you measure? The 12-week year uses traditional measurements such as lead indicators, lag indicators, and things that you know, if I do this, so for example, if I book this many sales calls, I know that this many sales are likely to result. So you can track based on what you do now, how you think things will end up. Or you can track on what happened in the past, what you think should be happening this particular time frame. And if you're using the 90-day sprints, you're measuring things that have to do with the efficiency and the progress of a specific project completion. So it could be the number of tasks, it could be everybody's favorite KPIs, things like how many lines of code you've created or how many individual modules you have locked down, but it's all tied to that specific project. Some differences also happen in the flexibility. If you're using sprints, you have flexibility regarding time. You might have sub-sprints of 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and then stack a whole bunch of them together within the overall 90-week sprint. You also have task flexibility. Each beginning of the sprint, you get to choose which tasks you're going to work on for that particular sprint. And you have feedback flexibility. Are you getting feedback every day, every week, every month? It depends. If you're using the 12-week year, you have greater flexibility with regards to the goals. You can be working on any part of your life or your business, and you can have flexibility regarding what projects are within those goals. But the one thing you can't have flexibility with is the time frame. It's 12 weeks. Finally, and I think probably the biggest single differentiation between the two, other than if you're working on a single project or an overall life or business, is who is accountable. If you're working on a sprint, that sprint is tied to the team's progress. And there's people who are managing how all of the work goes in between the members of the team to ensure that the team makes their goals. The team wins or the team fails. On the other hand, if you are working on a 12-week year, it is much more individualized. You have personal ownership and responsibility for what you do or don't do in that time frame. And so you win or lose as an individual. So that really takes down what's the difference between a 90-day sprint and a 12-week year. Both of them can increase your productivity and increase your focus, but you need to choose the right one for your context. And that's how you will get the best bang for your buck, by changing which way you look at things. Thanks.